Hey guys, so I am filming a Candida diet meal prep for you just to show you what kind of things I make in the week and how I prepare it so that it's easier to make my lunches and dinners within the week. So this week I have made some celery, cauliflower, broccoli, and salmon and chicken. But first I'm starting off with broccoli, which is the easiest to prep. All I'm doing here is just washing the floret, and I usually buy broccoli florets just because I don't really eat the stalks. And how I wash them is I just run it under some water and then I simply chop off the stalks just like that. Sped it up for you guys because it takes about like 2 to 5 minutes, but you get the gist. I bought 2 broccoli florets and cut them all up. I rinse them again, and then I get them ready and put them in Ziploc bags. So here I am just putting them in the bag, getting them ready for the week. Quick and easy to prepare them. I usually stir fry my broccoli. Sometimes I steam them. And I'm not usually one to eat my broccoli raw. I just don't really like the taste. I haven't built that taste yet, that acquired taste. So I'd rather eat my vegetables fried, to be honest. I fry them with coconut oil. And then I have one bag prepared and ready to go for the week. Next, I am cutting up some cauliflower. Same sort of deal with the cauliflower as it was for the broccoli. What I do for the cauliflower is I just chop off the stems, and once I chop off that stem, that root of it, I simply just go in and break off the florets. I'm just breaking them off here, and then I'm quickly rinsing them under some water and getting them ready to put in a Ziploc bag. Now sometimes I label the bags so I can just reuse them again, but typically I don't. They're pretty cheap, buying 30 bags. Sometimes they're for $1, so I just use fresh bags each time, but I'm pretty sure you can reuse veggie bags. Next, I am prepping the celery. What I usually do for celery is I break off all the stalks, run it under water. And I make sure to clean off the stalks with my thumb, because I know that sometimes, especially towards the root of the stalk, the celery stalk, there is soil, and that's not good to eat. I hate eating sand. When you realize you're eating sand in your food, it's the worst. And then I just get my Ziploc bag ready, and I usually cut up the celery in 2 to 3 stalks a piece, and that's pretty much it. Next, I am cutting up some colored greens. So I have to use the whole sink for this, and I make sure it's all laying flat because same thing, there could be sand in it. And then I flipped over my collard greens just so it's easier to cut up, because they are pretty big leaves. So I cut them half-wise like that, and then I cut them down the middle again, just so I can dice it into little pieces, making it easier to eat when I saute them or when I I stir fry them. Now the thing with leaves, anytime I'm prepping leafy greens, is that they retain a lot of water because I do rinse them in the water beforehand. For example, like spinach, definitely you can't really keep spinach in a bag. I mean, you can, but you'll notice that water sits at the bottom after a day or two of being in the fridge, so you just want to make sure you eat spinach really fast after you've cleaned it. So as for my meats now, I usually do veggie prep first and then I go into the meats. This week I bought 2 packages of chicken, one with chicken legs and the other is chicken thighs. So first thing I do is I rinse it off with water, then I put on some lemon juice, some freshly squeezed lemon juice, and there is some green onions. I use that with everything, which I also pre-cut that. I didn't record it, but I cut up like a bunch of stock and set it aside. Then I put some salt and pepper to my chicken. I also add chili flakes because I love spice. I don't even know how much I'm using, like let's just say 1 tablespoon. And I also use thyme, so thyme sprigs to spruce up my chicken. I use a lot of herbs. I do not go light on the herbs. The last thing I put on there was diced garlic, and then this is a seasoning which has onions, garlic, and I think it's parsley. I'm not too sure, but you can buy those pre-seasoned mixes at the grocery store. That's probably what I did. Then once all of that's in, I mix it with a spoon just because I don't like to continuously touch the raw meat. And that's it. Then I put the lid on, put it in the fridge. The next thing I bought this week this is not salmon. This is rainbow trout. It looks like salmon. The first thing I usually do is I cut them in half. Then I will go ahead and rinse it off. Then as of late, I have just been meal prepping my fish the lazy way. So I lay it down on aluminum foil, I pat it dry with a paper towel, and I just add all my dry seasonings to the fish. So I start off with salt, I put pepper next, and then I had diced up some parsley leaves. Parsley is one of my favorite seasonings, my favorite herbs to use for seasonings, and really great for the Candida diet. I've also diced up some garlic, put that on top. And garlic is a really good antifungal. And of course, chili flakes because I like spice. I love spice. And once again, I put that pre-seasoned mix of, I can't remember, I will find out the name and write it in the description box below. And of course I used thyme on my fish because I can never have too much thyme. So I generally pat everything down on only the top portion of the fish. This one had skin on it, so I didn't really want to cover everything with seasoning, and I just tend to put everything on one side anyways. And then the last thing I added was some lemon juice, which is great to put on your fish, your raw fish. And then what I do from here is I simply just fold in the sides of the aluminum foil. And I kind of keep it like that. When I cook it, I simply just put it in the oven same way, and I cook it within the aluminum foil. It's really easy. But in this case, I saved it for the week, so I put it in a Ziploc bag. And I'm ready to go. So the 2 halves of salmon in the freezer, good for the week or maybe even 2 weeks. And then the chicken that I had seasoned up and I'm going to make within the next 2 days, so I just put that in the fridge. And as you can see, this is all of my veggies prepped and ready to go for the week. Thanks for watching.